none of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time. Step 9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number 1?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good, good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
What is up? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies and Apocaflix Now, our weekly hangout show here on the channel. I am your host, Jake Berland, and I am joined today by Mr. Gio Ramos and Mr. Brian Avalosino, as we are here starting a little bit early this week at 6:30, just an extra half hour, because not like anything cool happened today that we want some extra time to talk about things. Look, we already had a pretty cool planned show tonight. We're going to talk a little Last of Us. We were going to talk a little Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Unfortunately, the former got kicked from the show just because of something major that happened within the last 2 hours. And that being that Hugh Jackman is officially making his return to Wolverine in Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
No doubt be getting to here as the main topic of the show. We're definitely going to stick with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We got some really cool new images this week, as well as a couple details on what to expect from the film. And we'll get into that after we get into our first little segment of the show, being the movie watching challenge. But let's go and check on the crew, see how everybody's doing. These two gentlemen are working hard today. They are stressed. They walked in the door about 10 minutes ago. They're living life, guys. They are living life. Gio, how you doing, my man?
Good. I'm good. You know, I don't know. It feels like the holiday season is pretty much here already, you know, because like this kind of volume of business is like something you would expect as we get closer to the holiday season. But like work is slammed right now, man. Just as we get into October and the NBA season starts up, you know, because my job is like right next to the arena. And so time's getting busy. Came home, jumped on, and I was talking with you, Jake, and I was all stressed. But now that, you know, I'm relaxing and I know what we're about to talk about, it's like, all right, good vibes.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I just noticed that we're all wearing red, white, and blue, so that's kind of cool. America.
Wrong order.
America. White, blue, red, whatever. Brian, snap out of it, my guy. We got some fun things to talk about tonight, man.
I literally just walked in the door. So from having to deal with parent-teacher conferences, so I don't want to hear anything about it. So, especially when I get chewed out for my kid. I get chewed out for kids that don't want to do their work. It's my fault they're not doing their work. So
always,
it's completely my fault.
That's like being a coach. Coach gets blamed for everything. Teacher gets blamed for everything. Plain and simple.
So I'm tired.
We'll leave it at the door, my guy. We got some Marvel stuff to talk about tonight.
Hangry.
Come on.
It's hangry. That's really.
Go get some food.
You didn't give me enough time, so we're here.
You're more than welcome to step off and grab
some chips and dip. Come on.
Yeah, like this is we call it a movie hangout show for a reason.
Or have a beer.
No.
Brian needs a drink. He needs a drink.
From the fridge.
Well, not to go back to Mr. Krabby Pants. It is time for him.
I'm not allowed to leave. I have to do this next segment and then set up Gio.
It is time for the movie watching challenge, everybody.
Put it in my ass. All right, let's go.
Which this week, Brian was challenged to finally watch E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which just officially had its 40th anniversary, and Brian watched it for the very first time. He's going to give his quick thoughts, and then we're going to get to who he is challenging next. Brian, take it away. This movie has been talked about as far as one of the movies that you needed to watch for a very long time. It has always been talked about as an all-time great. It's 40 years old. It's Steven Spielberg. What did you think?
Well, the first half of it I saw at home in the comfort of my bedroom or couch. The second half of it I watched from the emergency room. So yeah, it's
Whoa.
great. It's a great movie. No, it was really good. I can understand why people really, really love it. It shockingly like holds up. Like I very much.
E.T. looks great, doesn't he?
E.T. is literally stolen from a Star Wars character. Like I know he's in the Star Wars in the Senate scene, but like you can't tell me that that's not an Ewok or Baby Yoda. Like it's the same like feeling as like one of those characters. Like him doing his little like I think it very much reminded me of Baby Yoda, where Grogu, where it's like that same little like the innocence of this thing. Obviously, ET's been around a lot longer, so I should switch it to ET's very much or Baby Yoda. Grogu's very much like ET. Elliot is really annoying. Like he's really annoying. Like that was the one thing throughout the movie I was like, this kid's so annoying. And I could just be the teacher, just like I deal with like whiny kids like this all the time. But Elliot was like driving me nuts throughout the movie. Like, come at me, that's fine. I get it. He's a little kid, but Elliot needed to calm the hell down a little bit, a couple times. But ET itself, the little alien, kicks ass. He's funny. It's funny. I expected much more, like, I guess, importance of the Reese's Pieces, but it's literally just like one quick little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I expected it to be like damn near like a subplot of like something, and
What?
Just like I don't know, like some importance of it, like this grandeur importance, like the Reese's Pieces did something to something, and it just was like they threw him in the forest and he collected them. So that was kind of funny to me that it literally just didn't really mean anything. Yeah, no, it was really good. I could absolutely see why people like love it. I'm very curious if I would have seen this younger, what difference it would have made. Whether or not I've seen people say it terrified me as a child. I've seen people say it was my childhood. I would love to know like what, I don't know, 10-year-old me would think of this movie compared to 33-year-old me that sees it for the first time. I feel like if I was little, he probably would have scared me too, because I was a wuss. Am a wuss. But yeah, did I fly? No, I did not fly with Elliot on his bike.
I'm shocked by Nussbaum's comment. ET is in my 128. Does that mean you're ranking like you have a top 128 movies? That is like very odd. Top 128 movies?
It's an interesting number.
It's a lot. Like to rank that many? Jesus.
I'm very curious. I could probably look it up. What movie I put for, because I think it came out 1982 was the year.
Wait, it was 40 years ago. It was 40 years ago. So yeah, 82.
Okay, yeah. So I'm very curious because, like I said, the movie held up. Like it was not like one of these just like old.
Oh, are you saying you would have put it over one of the top?
Yeah, I'm looking up
movies?
what my 1982 was. Rocky 3. Rocky 3 is pretty good. I could definitely. I like Rocky 3. Rocky 3 is pretty good. It's definitely. I can absolutely see why it's number one for people. Like no question. Like 40 years later, the movie still holds up. So that's the thing. I think I walked out the most shocked was like, okay, like this movie actually is still pretty good. and stuff too.
Gio, where does ET stand with you?
I remember enjoying it as a kid, and just it's funny, the ET character kind of freaked me out a little bit when I saw it, but I watched it
Especially
with my
when he
uncle.
dries up. That's weird.
Yeah. It's not one of those movies that for me it's not up there with Sandlot. I don't know, like that movie. Those kind of movies just hit different for me. But I enjoyed it. I actually need to watch it again. It's been like over 20 years since I've seen it.
Okay.
Forgot.
I actually, man, I wish I would have went to the IMAX screening to
Me too.
rewatch it again. Is that done? Was that only a limited thing?
It was a limited thing.
IMAX, yes.
I think it was just for its 40th anniversary.
They're still playing though. Palladio is still playing it, and the drive-in theater is still playing it. Because I thought about actually going and seeing it in theater, but I was like, I'm not driving all the way out to the Palladio to see it. Well, walking because I didn't have a car yet.
That would have been a very long walk. Very, very long walk. Yeah, no, I love E.T. I think it's a great film. I haven't watched it in a very long time. I remember loving it as a kid. But yeah, I think it's one of Spielberg's greatest personally. The story creates such magic. It's very original and different and just unique from what Spielberg does now. He doesn't do stuff like that anymore. So, but all right, well, there it is. Brian's thoughts on E.T. the Extraterrestrial. It seems like it was a win, so that's a good call. That's all thanks to the wheel, which we will now be getting to. Mm-hmm. The wheel. Brian has now been tasked with challenging someone else here on the channel. So the floor is his. Brian, who are you challenging, and which 4 films are you challenging them to?
Well, I said last week, Gio, you're getting all Saoirse Ronan movies, and I wasn't lying.
Oh my god!
So you're watching something with her in it. I haven't seen Brooklyn or Hannah, so if you land on one of those, I probably will watch it as well.
There it is, right there.
Lady Bird, Brooklyn, Little Women, and Hannah.
I'm rooting for Lady Bird just because Sacramento and
obviously.
But hey, my brother's from Brooklyn, and Little Women, cool.
Brian, can you do me a huge favor? This is such a can you click hide on this damn thing? No, hide in the corner top right.
Hide
right there. Just click that, please. Thank you.
We've never
my OCD.
There it is.
Never ever once had to hide it until right now.
No, I've hit it every time I've done it. That's why I asked you to. So just my OCD self. Go ahead. Let's see what he's watching. I hope it's Lady Bird, by the way, too. Out of those 4, though, that's the one I love the most. So
the one I know the least about.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Hannah's not a bad movie. The only thing is that it's not current Saoirse. It's a younger version of her. So you don't get the full effect of what Saoirse Ronan is now as an actress. But it's still a good movie.
Can we just say, since he's from Sacramento, he has to watch Lady Bird?
No, because we're sticking to the wheel. We're trusting.
We gotta stick to the wheel.
We gotta stick to the wheel. It's his choice. It is his choice.
Watching. I don't know how that works.
It's his choice if he wants to watch one or the other.
Wait, what?
I mean, are both, not one or the other, both. If you want to watch both, you're more than welcome to. But no, so Gio will be watching Hannah this week.
That's literally the one I wanted you to watch the least.
It's not a bad movie. It's not. They based a TV show off of it, for God's sakes. It's actually a good movie. But it's just not current Saoirse Ronan. She's much younger in the movie. She's still a total badass, but she's much younger, which doesn't give you the feel of, I think, what Brian is saying of why he wanted you to watch a Saoirse Ronan movie. The Lady Birds, the Little Women's, the Brooklyns, the movies that she does now that are so rememberable. But there's nothing against Hannah. So.
I should have put Mary Queen of Scots because I've actually seen
because she's not very much in that movie. So it's much more of a
she's the co-lead.
It's definitely Margot Robbie's movie over hers, though. I don't think Hannah's a bad choice, personally. I don't think it's a bad choice. So, Gio, thoughts?
I'm gonna pick up a bottle of wine and watch Hannah.
All right,
You get my first taste of Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse, whatever.
Saoirse Ronan. Yes,
Miss Ronan. There you go.
It's actually not a bad way to start because you're kind of going in like chronological order of her movies, so you can always just do it that way. All right, well, you'll get a review from Gio on Hannah this week, and then he'll be able to challenge someone per usual. But with all that said, let's go and get into our first Marvel topic of the evening. We're going to be getting into Deadpool and Wolverine here soon. We're starting off with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. As we got some new images, as we got some new details on this movie, and we kind of just want to talk it out a little bit because look, this is a very, very big movie. Originally tonight, this was going to be our main topic, and I had asked the question up top on the title of the video: is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever Marvel's most important movie ever? That's a conversation we can have, but I also do want to get your guys' thoughts on some of the things that were kind of talked about in these articles. I want to start with Namor, obviously, because he's kind of the big part of all of this. He's being introduced. He's been confirmed as a mutant inside the MCU, which is a big deal, sticking to his comic roots. And Ryan Coogler himself saying that he's a dream antagonist. And then they said the following about where'd it go? They said the following about where he's from and why they kind of get involved. So this was from Namor actor himself, Tenoch Huerta. I want to believe it. I want to say his name is Tenoch. So he said the following. He says, "You can take Atlantis from Greek myth, or you can adapt from a real culture." And they said the decision puts Talocan in jeopardy, and Talocan has to take action to protect themselves. And apparently the reason why Talocan gets involved is directly from what T'Challa did at the end of the first movie of deciding to let Wakanda be known to the world, announcing that Wakanda was actually this very high-powered technological country in hiding, and that they're here to help the world, and that has affected everything that this guy stands for and his people and his culture. So before we move on to everything, I don't want to throw everything at once, but what are we thinking about Namor, the involvement, how they get involved, the addition of him to this cast? Gio, I'll start with you. What are you thinking about this so far?
As far as characters go, I think Namor is the one I am most excited to see in this movie. Obviously, we're all curious about how they're going to handle T'Challa and, Chadwick Boseman's, we kind of saw a little bit in the teaser trailer, it looks like they had a ceremony or something. And I think Shuri was holding the Black Panther helmet right there. Yeah. So, we probably could get that early on, but judging by, what I've seen so far in the trailers and then this latest image on Empire Magazine where he's just standing there in his, outfit and whatnot. I don't know if he's looking at the battle to come between Wakanda and, Atlanteans. Mm-hmm. And, I can't help it. Like, for me, he's the character by far I'm most excited to see. And I will say, okay, so he is a mutant, and I'm not too familiar in the comics. Like, was Namor a mutant in the comics too?
He was the very first mutant.
Mm-hmm. The very first,
which still could be possible. They haven't clarified if he's the first ever, but with his age, it's still very possible because at the moment, in proper MCU, he's technically the oldest that we know of right now. So,
right, and not to get into, I guess, Miss Marvel spoilers, but can we
say?
We can
get into that.
Yeah. Pretty much, they confirmed that Kamala is a mutant. They didn't specifically say it, but the whole mutation thing, followed by the Yellow X-Men, subtle theme. It's interesting. I kind of feel like the mutants debuting in the MCU should be a bigger deal because, like, you show Professor Xavier in Multiverse of Madness just to kind of kill him off, to make Wanda look more powerful and whatnot. I don't know. Like, yeah, I know the X-Men 90s theme, and it was cool seeing Xavier. I need to watch Miss Marvel. That whole revelation was pretty cool and could make the show worth watching. But I just feel like the mutants should be a bigger deal in the MCU, because it's kind of like the last thing, right, that Marvel has like in its sleeve is the introduction of the mutants, and what could happen. Like, it's not that I'm not looking forward to seeing where the story goes in Wakanda Forever, and could we get a tease of Storm? I don't know, but
It's possible.
yeah, those are my. I went off into a whole.
No, you're fine. That's the whole point of it. I think that's the whole point of it, is just to kind of talk it out. Let it all be out there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an obvious decision. We had obviously wondered if they were actually going to do it or not, and if they were going to go that route. But I think making him a mutant just makes sense. It's a huge part of his backstory in the comic books. His backstory is not going to be exact, nor should any character, I think. But that's a huge part of who he is, and I love that they're playing with that. As far as G, you had said you wish that, or kind of thought that the introduction of mutants would be a little bit more important. I still think it's going to be very important, but I think it's like little seeds being planted, right? Like, just like example for the Miss Marvel stuff, they didn't flat out say you're a mutant. All he said is her buddy Bruno of you have a mutant gene, which then obviously
like a mutation or something.
Yeah, or a mutation.
I
think is what she said. Yeah, so it was a light bulb in our head, obviously, because it wasn't really touched on. It wasn't explained. It was a nice little Easter egg for us going, okay, well, they just confirmed she's a mutant. They haven't gone into that yet, but they're introducing them very slowly. I think that's kind of what's going to happen with Namor. I don't know if they're actually going to get into it as far as him being a mutant just yet. They can down the road, but introducing him as one, kind of just like, again, planting the seeds for eventually when they do come, when we get the Xaviers, the Logans, the Jean Greys, the Scott Summers of the world, when mutants are fully invested, introduced inside the MCU, it's going to be a big deal. So just to kind of touch on that. Sure. I did want to say one last thing of all this too. Originally, Ryan Coogler actually wanted to put him in the end tag for Black Panther. He wanted to put him as the post-credit scene of Black Panther in the film. And according to this article, the scene would have been the camera pushing through the palace of Wakanda and slowly seeing wet footprints leading up to the throne. That's all that would have been shown. But they ended up not doing that for obvious reasons, because it was all about the Infinity Stones and everything kind of leading to what Endgame was, which I think ultimately was the right decision. So, but Brian, you've been a big Namor guy. You're super. I think you might be the most excited out of all of us to have him involved and finally get here. From what we've heard in this article, kind of what's been put forth so far, what do you think about Namor?
I'm excited. I'm
going to show an image right now too. So.
I love that he is not Atlantean. I love everything about the fact that he's not anywhere the same. I love that Aquaman's going to be his own thing, and Namor's going to be his own thing. It's going to be, they both live underwater, and that's pretty much, and they both are like kings, and that's basically the only similarity they're going to have. We haven't even heard comparisons of that anymore. Like, that immediately stopped once everyone saw Namor, and that was like the main thing was like, oh, here comes Marvel's Aquaman. No one gives a shit about that anymore. It's like, oh my God, this guy's he looks freaking awesome. He looks so cool. He looks like he's going to whoop some ass. I think every change they've made is brilliant. I love the fact that they're not even calling it Atlantis anymore. Talocan, sure.
Oh, I called it Atlantis. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
People are gonna call it. It's gonna be like
it's gonna take a while to kind of
general audiences are just gonna be like Atlantis.
Yeah, it's
it.
it's gonna
Exactly,
be the baby Grogu, yeah, or baby Yoda and Grogu thing, where it's like
Yeah.
you can say either and everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised he's a mutant. I think that was pretty obvious. I mean, they didn't hide that. He had the wings on his ankles in the trailer. That should have
Which
been.
I'm so hyped to see. I'm so hyped to see that.
That should have been the first clue that, or literally, like, that wasn't even a clue. If you know, like, anything about Namor, it's like, okay, he's a mutant. Like, they kept that, obviously, because he's not. They don't all have wings on their ankles. I know people were saying, oh, he's a mutant. He's a mutant. That's why he's not blue. No. If you would like to go look at my thing that I made, they're not all blue underwater. I think, in fact, they turn. My theory is that they're blue above land and normal underwater, because every time you see them underwater, they're not blue.
But not Namor, right? Namor, when he's on the surface,
consistently stays
right
the same, like human.
Okay.
Which I think that is going to be. That might be a mutation where it's just one. But I mean, so everyone can stop saying, "Oh, his mutation is he's not blue." No, it's not. It might be part of it, but that's not the thing. There's literally a scene of, I forget what's her name. Crap. His cousin, not Atuma, because that's the guy. I don't know. She's literally stabbing a floodlight, and she's normal skin color, like she's not blue. So, anyways, tangent. I don't want to say that Namor's whole story might steal this movie from Black Panther, but
no, I won't.
It's going to be just as good as like it's people are going to be walking out of this like dying for more Namor lore,
100%.
history, backstory, whatever. Like people are going to want more of. It's funny calling it Talocan, Atlantis, like that type stuff. I think it's going to be a very. I mean, you're hitting a demographic in the MCU that hasn't been touched at yet. I mean, Black Panther did it with the black market. This is going into Hispanic, Latino culture. I mean, what have we touched into in as far as characters as in Hispanic in the MCU, Gio? Any? Really?
I mean, not that I can think of, no.
So it's like
Danny Ramirez's new Falcon will be a part of that. So
yeah, but I meant like pre this, like barely any. So we're going into culture.
Luis from Ant-Man.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's not a superhero though. He's just Super Tucker.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm still waiting for him to recap the whole Infinity Saga.
Yeah, we're just. It's cool because we're tapping into these cultures that are rich with story and history. And
ooh, there you go, Gordon.
Oh yeah, America.
But again, that's recent. Like,
but again, that's
and we didn't even really touch on. She got introduced, but we didn't really touch on like her. You know.
So I mean,
they cut so much of that movie. It's I'm curious what they originally had.
Sure.
So.
And Brian, to your point, like if you think about it, everyone's been complaining about phase 5 and kind of where it's been, and if it's connecting, etc. We've had this conversation on the channel before, but if you look back, phase 4, excuse me.
Okay.
If you look back on this phase, look at all of the different cultures and races that have been introduced to the MCU or highlighted. Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, Namor, America Chavez.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it is flat out like they are fully in. We are hitting as many as we possibly can, and they've been doing great so far.
Yeah, this like we're clearly. I mean,
Russian.
Think about every culture has stories, history, lore that you can tap into. We've gotten into Asian culture with Shang-Chi. We've gotten, I mean, you could go, we've got Norse with Vikings and stuff with Thor. We have Hispanic culture in Namor. We have African culture with even Moon Knight. I mean, you could throw that as well too.
Egyptian,
like I mean, it's touching all these different things, and all of them have these awesome backstories. Pakistani with Miss Marvel, like it's cool. I don't understand how you could not think that this is going to be cool moving forward. Like I think it's going to be the best part of the whole entire movie. Honestly,
it's great for representation. Because that was a criticism for the MCU up until Black Panther. It was mostly white leads, and we finally got a female lead with Captain Marvel. So
it gets boring.
They clearly listen to the criticism, and they course correct where they need to. They did it going back to phase 1 or phase 2, I think, with the Marvel one shots and all that kind of stuff. Like it's been a thing. But Brian, I would agree with you that Namor may end up being the best part, the most interesting part about the movie, the sequel, had Chadwick been alive today. And, it would have been like, yeah, but I mean, the thing that is keeping me, and I think keeping you from saying that, is that a lot of the general audience is going to be curious about, okay, what happens to Black Panther by the end of the movie? Like, with Furious 7, you're watching a movie, you're enjoying a movie, but in the back of your head,
how in the world are you comparing?
No, I get what he's saying. It makes sense. The ending of the movie can't move past the fact that Paul Walker's not going to be in another movie.
No, it's the same thing. Like, I didn't mean to compare franchises.
No. I wasn't getting mad. I was just like,
yeah.
how is that actually being compared right now? Anyway,
I get what you're saying, Gio.
Right. I mean, admit it, it's going to be in the back of all of our minds from the moment the movie starts. It's like, okay.
I mean, I don't think you can ever really look at a movie like this and wonder what the original plan would have been. I guarantee you, maybe the first hour and a half, not even hour and a half. Well, maybe the first hour is probably nothing that they originally had. The second half will probably be most of like the stuff they already had, with slight turns having to involve a new Black Panther. Like, right. I feel like the Namor stuff probably didn't really change. It was now having to build a new story around the threat of Namor with Black Panther. Because can you imagine, like, if this was like the Chadwick Boseman versus Namor type, like that story alone is just mind blowing. You now have to incorporate his death into the story, but everything else you could maybe kind of keep what they originally had. We'll never know. That's the thing that sucks. We will never know what the original plan was.
And I think it goes even further than that, because I mean, just look at how COVID changed the whole entire Phase 4 slate, where you had, I think No Way Home came out, or no, Multiverse of Madness was supposed to come out before No Way Home, right? That was the original slate. And like, how those changes happen, and maybe, because let's all admit it, okay, like, even though these filmmakers, get to make their movies, they still have to be set within the MCU and go toward the bigger picture, timeline and whatnot. So I think you're onto that, and I would also add that COVID maybe had an impact on it as well.
Well, we know how COVID had an impact on it just because of Letitia Wright. So anyway. All right,
Is there any doubt that she's the Black Panther? Because I feel like it's obvious to me. Like,
I'm fighting it just because I don't want her to be Black Panther.
But you think
I'm like 51-49 that it's still Nakia. But I'm every day Shuri creeps up more and more, which I just don't like personally. I don't like the move of having her be Black Panther.
See, now I think what happens is I think a lot of people feel that way. I think this could be one of your characters that's when Secret Wars happens, things will drastically change.
Maybe. Maybe, but we'd then be on our third Black Panther in only a short amount of time.
But you can
I don't want Shuri being Black Panther because not one, but really the only main point that I think I need to make is that her role as essentially a science officer. I'll throw in a little Star Trek for everybody who commented on the Star Trek news. As a science officer, science specialist, I liked her in that role. I loved her in that role of kind of being this incredibly intelligent, if not the smartest person in the world at only 16, 18 years old. And now she's thrust into Black Panther. And look, there could be reasons as to why she becomes Black Panther. We'll see that in the movie if that happens. But I don't like the move just because like turning Black Panther's sister into Black Panther, just because she's the sister. I just think Nakia is more worthy personally, and that's just my opinion. I think that she'd be a better fit as Black Panther rather than Shuri. So just my opinion. Come on, Insider Gio, you change your Twitter handle. Come on.
I think you're good. I think you're going to be, I think you and people who feel the same way you do are going to be content by the end of the movie. That's all.
I have no doubt. I will love the crap out of this movie. And I will end up being fine with whatever they do. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. I will always, in the back of my mind, and there's plenty of movies. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. There will always be movies. This will be always one of those things where I'm like, what would they have done had this not happened? And I'm trying to think of a movie that a main character died that they had to change the whole entire thing. I just
brought one up. So
did you? What was it?
Well, the Furious 7.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's actually a huge one. I'm just, you know what? I'm just glad we got through the Infinity Saga. Like honestly, like we had the whole personal, like he started from Civil War. We at least got Endgame. Like we got that whole arc. So whatever they do moving forward, I'm fine with, because it's obviously not something that we can change. So I'm just excited to see Namor and just how it works. I think these two, you arguably have two of the most advanced civilizations in the MCU. They go head to head at each other. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone else higher than this.
Not on Earth.
Maybe Latveria. Maybe.
No, that's only one. I would just say one person in Doom, but as far as a country goes, absolutely not.
But either way, it's him. So other than those three, these two are going to go at it.
Which we're 100% seeing in this movie, by the way.
Him probably at the end. You'll probably honestly just see a green cape, I feel like.
I just want to see a figure come out of the shadow with a green hood on. That's all I want. That is all I want. And Insider Geo, stop now. Every time I'm going to talk to you, I'm just going to do hashtags. Just stop now. Just don't say anything now.
I'm so excited for. I think the whole fight. I think the fight scenes are just going to be blow our minds.
Yes, and look, we have a whole month to preview this movie, which I'm sure we're going to. I don't want to get too much into it because I want to talk about one specific thing, and that is the runtime. The runtime came out today.
It just
reportedly come out.
It just got confirmed like 7 minutes ago. Jake, 2:40.
I'm looking at Hollywood Reporter here. Is what the website I'm looking at, and it comes in at 2:41 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Let me know if anybody sees anything different. 2:41. That makes it the second longest MCU film to date. Probably by just a couple minutes. I feel like we've had some high 2:30s before. Maybe even a little longer. I could be wrong, but 2:41 for a solo film. MCU solo films at this point aren't really solo films. They're all team up movies, which is okay. That's just at the point of the MCU we are. So you should expect something a little bit longer. I mean, we can kind of reference back to what Thor: Love and Thunder did at a very short runtime, and it felt like that movie just needed more, being so short. Which is one? Love and Thunder. Okay. Love and Thunder. Yeah. So getting now 2:41, I mean, that's a lengthy amount of time. And I think if there is one movie to do a longer movie, I'm absolutely not opposed to having this movie be it. I mean, you have a lot of things to tackle in not just Namor and where he's from, and everything that kind of comes with that and the impact that he'll have on this universe. But it also tells me that they are not going to shortchange us on honoring and grieving Chadwick, T'Challa, etc. They're going to take their time with it. They're not going to
disrespectful if they didn't.
Yeah, they're going to rush. They're not going to rush over it and do it in just like the first 10 or 15 minutes. They're going to spend half hour, 40 minutes on everything that is T'Challa and what he stood for, what he left behind, kind of moving forward from it. Obviously, and I know that a lot of people argue that Marvel movies can sometimes be long, and I sometimes agree on specific movies, but if there's any movie that I think can get away with being a little bit of a longer runtime, it's 100% this one, just because of everything that it kind of has to do. It has to do a lot. And I don't want them to cut corners and not tell something just because of a runtime. I would rather sit there for an extra 10 minutes and have that told than not. So I am 100% not opposed to a 2:41 runtime for Black Panther 2. I mean, most Marvel movies run around 2:15, 2:20 anyway. And now we're dealing with a movie where we have to cover the death of the lead character. I'll easily take an extra 20, 25 minutes. So I'm all for it personally.
Yeah, I think if you are rushing something like this, it's going to feel disrespectful. Like the last thing you want to do in a movie where the main actor has passed away, the lead of this movie, you want to feel like you're rushing over his funeral, essentially. Like, you need to give that man every ounce of respect and time he deserves. As if it pushes the movie on another 20 minutes, who cares? I think you would have more of a problem if afterwards it seemed rushed versus the wrath people would feel if it was just glanced over.
For sure. Gio, how do you feel?
You're coming from a universe where you respect a 4-hour cut. Come on, my guy.
Yeah.
I'm happy that times have changed.
Don't you dare be negative right now. Don't you dare be
because,
negative.
it wasn't that long ago I was told, great directors can make a movie in 2 hours, and all of that. But now...
Who told you that? Who said that?
Oh, on this very channel. I won't say. But
is that person on screen right now?
No.
Yes.
Although you may have agreed with him. I have to go check the tape. But audiences are more open now. Like, there's no rule of thumb about these or written rule that these movies have to be 2 hours, and whatnot. And if they were just only 2 hours, it's because of mostly financial reasons to fit in, theater showtimes and whatnot. But now you have movies like The Batman that was just under 3 hours.
It was 2:45.
Okay, so you have No Way Home, which was a little bit more longer than your typical Marvel movie, and what I've always said, and I'm sure you guys agree, and everyone in the chat, is that it all depends on the story that you're trying to tell. Okay, and for this movie, it has several arcs that it has to deal with. There is the Namor and Talocan. They're gonna dive into that world, and they're gonna give it ample time to, make sure it's a well told backstory and does enough to warrant its own Disney Plus spinoff or maybe solo movie in Phase 6, because all of Phase 5 was announced. And then you have the arc with what's going to happen with the Black Panther mantle, and that. And then you have the state of Wakanda, that as well. And, how the world is adjusting to, Wakandans and the technology and all that kind of stuff. So there's several things that are going to be going on in this movie. And I think it's great that, it's a lengthy runtime. These are, in my mind, this is one of those stories that warrants a lengthy runtime, and at the end of the day, it's all about what kind of story are they trying to tell, and all the faith in Ryan Coogler. And this is probably going to set up the Wakandan series that he is developing that was announced, I believe, a year ago. And the fact that Namor is a mutant, and they're going to probably touch on that. And General Alliances are going to, for a lot of them, it'll be the first time they hear, mutant, and it not be a prior character like Professor Xavier. So that's a pretty big deal for, general audiences. And you want to make sure you give it enough time for that.
So here's Phase 4's run times. Shang-Chi was 2 hours, 12 minutes. Eternals, 2:37. Spider-Man, 2:28. Doctor Strange, 2 hours and 6. Thor is 1 hour 59, and Black Panther is 2:41.
So Thor needed at least 10 more minutes. Doctor Strange needed at least 10 more minutes. Shang-Chi was perfect. Eternals was 10 minutes too long. And Spider-Man was perfect, in my opinion, as well, for the story it was telling. So they've kind of been like 50-50 so far in the phase. But I personally think Black Panther is going to line up with the side of Shang-Chi and Spider-Man of being a perfect runtime for the story it's telling.
Yeah.
I don't think coming out of that, when we sit down and review it, I don't think we're going to have any questions or comments on it being too long or too short. I really don't. I think that the story warrants a lengthy runtime, in my opinion. So, and PJ, you're wrong. It was not perfect.
That's 2 hours and 40 minutes back in the world of Wakanda. Like, hell yeah.
And Talocan now.
And Talocan too.
Well, yeah, we're spending time in two worlds, essentially.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's exciting.
PJ, Multiverse of Madness over every other MCU movie. You're ridiculous.
PJ, I'm shocked you're not saying that you agree with Jake, because that would be 10 more minutes of that movie.
PJ, first off, what's up, buddy? But man, that courage of your conviction, I love it, man.
That's a strong comment, my man. That's a strong comment.
Get him on here sometime.
Before we move on, I just want to bring up the two other pictures that were released alongside the Namor picture. We just have a picture of Shuri here. In some gown wear, not sure where she is. Obviously, it's very blurred in the background. Honestly, it kind of looks like that ship scene, being the colors. Could be wrong there.
She looks like she's underwater.
Maybe if that's what they're going for, possibly.
Like, that looks like stalactites and stalagmites and stuff, like in a cave behind her.
Yeah, maybe. Could very well be. And then we have Queen Ramonda herself alongside Shuri with some weapons in hand. Looking like they're in the jungle, doing some business. I'm super excited to see her arc. I'm going to be honest, man. Angela Bassett's a boss, and I'm really interested in seeing what they do with her character. And I think they're going to do some really, really cool things with her now. And look, obviously, I I think her story shifted the most, obviously, because T'Challa is gone. But I'm excited to see her future and where she goes in this movie going forward. So
this goes without. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I agree with Rue. She's gonna steal scenes in this movie.
Well, she already stole the trailer. But
I mean, like, she's gonna have some scenes that you're just gonna go, fuck.
Oh yeah, Angela Bassett's a boss. I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
she's a badass.
What are the chances she gets unmade in this movie?
And 0.
I don't think she dies. No, I don't think. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if not a. I wouldn't be surprised if a. I don't see anybody dying in this movie because T'Challa.
The only people that
the main
I think,
people. I'm sorry.
The only ones that I would say are up for possible dying.
Namor's buddies, the two
would
of them.
Be Atuma or
her. It's the girl, right? That's what you're talking about.
It's driving me nuts. I've brought it up
I know.
twice.
Yeah, I don't think M'Baku's dying. I don't think Ramonda's dying. I don't think Shuri, Nakia. I don't think any major players are dying.
Namor,
Martin Freeman.
Christ.
I don't think Martin Freeman's dying. No, because we saw him in Secret Invasion.
That's
unless it's a scroll. But I agree with Brian. I think the only people that have a pretty good chance of dying are the two people that roll alongside Namor.
If I had to put money on it, I would say probably Namora is going to be the one that dies. I feel like you could use Atuma as a reoccurring villain later on.
Yeah, for sure. Unless depending on what they have planned for Namor, obviously.
Because Namora is nefarious in the comics. So
all right, gentlemen. Well, if you guys are good, we can go ahead and move along to our final topic of the night. A pretty big one. Pretty big one. We don't have
to get a
Gio.
No, I mean, no, I can't wait, but come on now. We got to get some kind of tease of Storm or something, like, I don't know if it's a young girl, like just staring at the sky.
Doctor Strange or Dr. Doom.
Yeah, I don't think Storm's showing up in this one.
But you got
because we're introducing Ironheart in this movie. That's why we're not going to introduce Storm as well.
Oh, there's that thing as well. Yeah, I forgot not thing. Her.
Ironheart
as well.
I forgot about that film. So there's no way Storm will be introducing this just because Ironheart's a big part of it. So, all right, if you guys are good, let's talk about the fun stuff because this is awesome. We all got a giant surprise today. If you're just randomly scrolling through Twitter about 2:00ish, somewhere around there, you see a little video from one Ryan Reynolds, and you go ahead and click it because it's Ryan Reynolds, right? Just doing a little infomercial, obviously about Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 3, excuse me. Got some swords alongside his comment in the tweet, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Hugh Jackman walks behind him, and it's officially confirmed: the Jackman is returning as Wolverine inside the MCU. He will return at least one more time and don the claws alongside Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool in Deadpool 3, which has officially been confirmed for September 6, 2024. What an exciting time to be a fan. We've had this conversation plenty of times on whether or not Jackman would return, if he would ever come back to don the claws. And we weren't sure after Logan, because Logan was not just perfect, but it obviously ended the way it ended with Logan's death. So it's interesting how this is going to work. Obviously, variants could play a big part in this because that got introduced last year. But we're getting a Deadpool Wolverine team up, guys. It's officially happening. Directed by Sean Levy, which, let me just remind you, not only has Sean Levy directed the 2 previous films that Ryan Reynolds has been in, but he also directed Hugh Jackman in Real Steel. So he has, if there was one guy to bring all this together, it was clearly Sean Levy. He was the only guy that could probably do it because he's directed both of them before, which is a really cool thing. So, gentlemen, let's talk about this. Wolverine, Deadpool, the MCU. What we got?
Well, we predicted one thing, right? That Deadpool would be in Phase 6.
Yeah, we did predict that, Brian. You're right.
We put it in the wrong spot, but we did put it in the face.
That's all right.
I'm so happy. I called it. I was a little early, and the signs were all there. Like if you guys go on Twitter, check my profile, you'll see that I reposted there. I remember there was an Instagram story of Hugh Jackman posting Boss Logic, and it was like his claws, and then another one of Kevin Feige and Hugh Jackman taking a photo together. I'm just like, yeah, that's happening. And Sean Levy made it happen. His most recent interview with what's that Ryan Reynolds Netflix movie that just came out?
The Adam Project.
Adam Project. He said, I'm going to do everything I can to get Hugh Jackman. And he fucking delivered. Good for you, man. And I mean, just come on now. We're all happy about this. Okay. Like it's not going to ruin Logan. Okay. It's not going to ruin any of that stuff. Okay. Like it's going to be great. This is like, once again, Marvel just capitalizing on an opportunity and on nostalgia and giving the fans what they want. And they learned their lesson because Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire was the worst kept secret for them being in No Way Home. And they're like, okay, just announce it. Let's not.
Well, that's because Jackman's gonna basically share the movie with Deadpool. That's why.
Yeah, they're gonna be co-leads, and God, I love it. I'm here for it, man. See, Jackman, you're never too old to get into shape and play the character. Okay, there are people who are older than you wearing the suit. I mean, Michael Keaton. So,
Gio, I just want to point out that not only do we notice it, but our chat notices that this is the happiest they may have ever seen you. Just saying. So
this is Hugh fucking Jackman, yo. Yes, there you go, MCU. You're starting to bore me a little bit, okay?
Oh,
but now
stop it.
Now you brought me back in, okay?
Oh my
goodness. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, okay?
So look, there's obviously a lot of ways that you can do this. You can go the straight up route of just bringing the two of them together inside their universe, obviously, because we know they operate in one specific universe. There's a lot of different ways. Multiverse of Madness opened a lot of possibilities. Variants opened a lot of possibilities. I'm still sticking with my idea that I had way back around Deadpool 2. I said this when we reviewed the Deadpool 2, that I still think Deadpool 3 is going to be Deadpool killing the Fox universe. I'm sticking by it, but I think Wolverine's going to be alongside him doing it. I think it's essentially going to be a buddy cop movie, but them destroying the Fox universe is what I'm thinking. So I'm sticking by it. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's the perfect opportunity to do it. I also want to point out that they pretty much trolled us from Deadpool 2 from the very start. Remember, that post-credit scene, Deadpool met up with Wolverine and said, hey, if I ever come calling to Dawn of the Claws one more time, can you please do it? And fast forward a number of years later, now it's actually happening. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think that it's going to be like a road trip-ish movie through the universe or through universes, and it's going to end with the destruction of their universe, the Fox universe. And how perfect would it be if that was a destruction of the Fox universe? It'd be chef's kiss. So, yeah, just my thoughts.
Although you better not harm any of the original X-Men cast or that.
No, that means they would all die. They're all gonzo.
Yeah, they would all die.
They're all gonzo. But I will say this: I don't think this will be the only time we see Hugh Jackman in the MCU. I think we'll see him at least twice.
Okay, so come to me now.
Go ahead.
Okay, Brian, go ahead.
I'm kind of not excited about this.
What?
Don't get me wrong.
Get out of here.
I think I have no doubt in my mind that they know exactly what they're doing. No doubt in my mind. Never have I ever questioned Marvel in their decision making. Kevin Feige's not going to do something he doesn't think is going to be good moving forward. I feel like whoever plays Wolverine next is now doomed. Like, because when was Logan?
2017.
5 years.
5 years. 5 years, we've slowly like weaned off of
Oh, I don't think it's ever disappeared.
him.
I don't think it's ever disappeared.
I would say the level, like Logan was a phenomenal, like.
No, I
Send-off.
know what you're saying of like
My
being okay
opinion-
with someone being recasted is what you're saying.
I think people are whoever is, that's fine. I that's totally
No,
fine.
speak your mind.
I kind of like, because I was very much the same. Like, how is anyone can ever replace Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? Like, and I was like that for years. I finally had gotten to the point where I was just like, okay, this is an inevitability. We're gonna get someone else.
But why can't you still stay there? Like, it changes for you to see him.
Now I'm going to be back on. Yeah, he's the perfect Wolverine.
Oh, but that's always been the case. Like,
I know, but I would have accepted it had I, like, Logan. He died. That was a freaking magnum opus movie for that guy. Like, nothing can top that. Now it's like he's back. He's definitely still the best Wolverine ever.
nah. Well, he's always going to be. I mean, okay, so I'll say this:
he's the only Wolverine.
I think, honestly, personally, I think he might be the greatest comic book casted character of all time, personally. But
That's a now show.
That is a show right there. That's a topic to be debated. But I don't see. I understand where you're coming from, Brian, but I disagree in the point that, like, I never want Hugh Jackman to leave the character. Like, I want him to be Wolverine forever. I do. But whenever they recasted the character of Wolverine, I would have had the same feeling in 2017 as I do now and as I will in the future. And that's just my opinion. That's just how I'm going about it personally. I hope you don't feel that way, because I don't want you to be bummed out. I don't want you to, especially if it's someone that you don't like and then you're like, fuck this, and you like rage quit everything. I don't want you to be bummed by whoever plays Wolverine in the future. I also want you to enjoy this because it's Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
I know. I'm absolutely going to love it. I know I am. But it's just like,
You're worried about what it's gonna do for the
That-
next
that
X-Men
Wolverine is-
cast. Yeah.
do you realize? Hold on. Where's the face?
2020. Are you talking about the release date? 2024 is this. It's after Fantastic Four, I think.
So
It's
within
in here.
1 year of it dropping, you're gonna have probably a new Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Well,
that.
We don't know that yet.
You don't think you're gonna have a new Wolverine by Secret
Well,
Wars?
So here's the thing.
I mean, there's a possibility we don't, Brian. There honestly there
Didn't-
is.
Didn't an article come
Yeah,
out
I'm-
recently?
There is a possibility. Like, there's an actual possibility that they don't introduce Wolverine until after Secret Wars.
I don't know.
Didn't they say that they can't recast the X-Men or something
So-
until
okay,
So
2023?
2023.
So,
2023.
No, 25.
I thought it was 25.
I thought it was 23.
No, it's 25. Which
PJ,
makes- I'm 100%
Don't go to PJ for this. Stay in your lane, PJ.
No, it's 2025. Hence why you have Secret Wars. I 100% believe that rumor, I guess, if you will, now that the mutant characters are locked until 2025. To me, it's abundantly clear now. I think because no mutants.
Patrick Stewart and now Hugh Jackman. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing. No new mutants, or no, you've gotten new mutants, but they haven't really been your tradition. Like, Miss Marvel was never a mutant. Okay. Namor was never used, hence why you can use him.
Yeah.
You've reused Patrick Stewart
Mm-hmm.
before 2025.
Mm-hmm.
You've now confirmed you're reusing Wolverine
Hugh
before
Jackman,
2025, within a year of this 2025 thing happening.
I'll let you finish.
And once 2025 comes around, it's Secret Wars. You can do anything with Secret Wars. Anything is possible now. You are allowed to you could literally drop a new Tony Stark if you wanted to after Secret Wars. Like,
which they won't. Don't
they
quote us
won't.
on that.
But
guys.
I'm saying
Please don't
like,
quote us on that.
but I'm saying like when Secret Wars comes out, it's 2025 when this supposed thing ends, and it makes sense that when Marvel bought it, that Fox had these people on contract. Like,
oh, for sure.
So I personally think that it makes 100% sense that you're not seeing a New Mutant until 2025.
No, it absolutely does, which is why I 100% believe that we won't get X-Men until after Secret Wars.
Oh, so do I. I completely agree.
Well, then you just said that we're gonna see Wolverine in Secret Wars.
I think Secret Wars might be the last time. Is probably going to be the last time you see anyone old mutant.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, back up though. We just had
Any of the Fox cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you just said that a new Wolverine's going to be introduced by Secret Wars. Didn't you just say that?
I think if a new Wolverine is coming, it's the earliest is going to be Secret Wars.
It's definitely. I don't think anything X-Men related is going to happen until after Secret Wars. Personally,
it makes sense.
It's possible that it could be as early as Secret Wars, but I think you're not going to see the MCU's Wolverine for a while.
Yeah, I think the earliest we see Wolverine is 2026.
Oh, I was
4 years.
And it's not even a guarantee that the MCU's X-Men movie will reintroduce Wolverine. They might go with a certain
for sure. It's very possible that they could hold off and do a completely different cast of mutants. You're right. Like,
yeah. So
who says they have to bring Wolverine right away? They don't.
They 100% are going to use mutants.
I'm with everyone in the chat, by the way. This one is the multiverse saga. The next one's the mutant saga.
100%. You are 100%.
That's just what it's going to.
This is what you're getting for the next phase or the next thing. You are 100% getting Avengers versus X-Men.
Yes. Curtis, Secret Wars is 25.
Yeah. You're 100% getting Avengers versus X-Men.
Just look at this. The three sagas of the MCU. Infinity Saga, Multiverse Saga, Mutant Saga. Wow.
Yeah.
My God.
It makes too much sense. Like,
Brian, I see what you mean as far as your hesitancy with what it could do for the Wolverine character long term.
It's going to be great.
Going into a different universe.
I have no doubt it's going to be great. Like, they're not stupid.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's talking about the movie, like the Deadpool 3, not the movie Deadpool 3. I think Brian is on board and on the hype train for Deadpool 3.
Absolutely.
You freaking better be. Otherwise, I'm not buying you a ticket. Because I have to buy you a ticket, remember?
I
lost my bet.
You might not be able to go by that time. You're going to already have a child.
Oh, sorry. That ain't stopping me from shit. Plus, you guys won't get tickets or anything because I take care of it all.
He's going to take the trial, too.
No, I have no doubt that this movie is going to be amazing. My whole thing was like, for me personally, I was finally acceptant. I'm ready. Like, okay, bring on this new Wolverine. Like, sure. Like, I mean, that is our Wolverine. We grew up. That is the only Wolverine we've ever known.
Right.
Like, all that stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, it's been 5 years. He went out with a motherfucking bang. One of the best comic book movies of all time. Like, all right, let's do this next one. And then you're going to like tease me again by like, oh, by the way, he's going to be with fucking Deadpool. And it's probably the last time you're going to see it.
Just to counter it, doing the math here, let's say that the movie comes out in September of 24, right? It's 2 years away. At the earliest, let's just put a number on it.
The day before my birthday, too.
Let's just what a great birthday present. No, Brian, actually,
lucky
it's the day
you.
of your birthday.
Huh?
Thursday night. Thursday night is the day of your birthday.
Well, no,
September
it's coming
5th,
out
technically.
It comes out on the 4th, so my birthday will be the day after it comes out.
No, it comes out on the 6th.
No, September 4th is the release date. Look it up.
I dare you to look it up right now.
Fine.
But while he's doing that,
I dare you to look it up right now.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, look it up. Look it up. Look it up.
But Brian, like this.
What is it, Brian?
I'm still looking. Hold on. The first one didn't have it.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm serious. Go ahead. Oh, here's a trailer. Watch. Let's see.
September 6th, 2024.
Hey everyone,
Wait, we can watch it, right?
No, I don't know.
No, we can watch it. It's not gonna copyright, right? It's just Ryan Reynolds talking.
Ah, shit! It is the 6th.
Boom.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna be watching the movie on your birthday.
Yeah.
Your 35th birthday, Brian.
Oh fuck! It is my 35th.
Woo!
Christ. No, it's not, Andy. It's 9/6.
Gio, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's I mean, just like I can't fault, and nobody can fault Marvel for taking advantage of this opportunity. There was an opportunity to see Wolverine and Deadpool on the screen together. We thought it wouldn't happen, right? Up until that tease on Jackman's Instagram. And then from there, all bets are off. And then Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appear. Then Charles Xavier appears. And it's like, okay, yeah, he's coming back.
I mean, the reaction that Xavier got in just the trailer alone of Multiverse of Madness, and then seeing it actually in the theater was pretty.
Imagine if they wouldn't have shown
fantastic. I do want to bring up something. Yeah, right. Real quick. Back to what I was saying originally. So, Brian, say this movie comes out in 2024. Right. And at the absolute earliest, we could see a Wolverine in Secret Wars, which is 2 years. Right. You don't think at least 2 years?
It'd be
1 year. Sorry, 1 year. My bad. You don't. Okay. So let's say at the earliest, but we're probably all betting that at least that a Wolverine won't be revealed until after Secret Wars. Are we all in agreement?
The new Wolverine?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So you don't think 2 years would be enough time for you to get over it again?
Not when the other option was over 10 years.
Well, I mean,
I guess
it also depends on how this
variant
of Wolverine goes out.
That's also what I'm worried about.
What?
How he's going to go out.
What if he stays back in his Fox universe?
If Deadpool kills the Fox universe, then Deadpool's going to kill him while he's leaving the Fox universe.
Well, no, he can like literally destroy the universe without actually physically killing a single person, is what I'm saying. Like, what if Logan, because we know that this Logan specifically, it will always and always has been in love with Jean Grey. What if he sees her one more time and decides to stay back with her?
And he gets his little Captain America Endgame moment where
and he gets his happy ending.
Poor Cyclops,
but then they all die.
Well, he doesn't die, but
I just wonder. I honestly wonder if if whatever world they're on could be one of the incursion worlds.
I think it's 100% going to be an incursion world.
I think that it very well could be the incursion world that is going to be the one that is crap. Actually, shit, that's not a bad idea. That could be the one that's colliding with our universe, and that's how Deadpool gets into ours.
He's literally the sole survivor of his universe. Think of that. Deadpool, the sole survivor of that universe.
Well, then either way, then you'd have to figure out who's killing Wolverine.
Well, he stays back on that world and it's destroyed. Boom.
Watch him go in a completely different direction.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go in a completely different direction. 100%, it's gonna go into a completely different direction. Like, there's no doubt about it. All right, a couple things real quick. I want to bring up a comment. This one's from Mike K. He said they should still at least slowly introduce the concept of mutants in the multiverse saga, just like how Doctor Strange introduced the concept of the multiverse back in 2016. We had a conversation about this a little while ago. They definitely are. Miss Marvel is obviously the first one. Namor is coming with Black Panther 2. And don't be surprised if a couple other people pop in here and there in the 2-year span until Deadpool 3. I mean, there's 2 years of movies, a lot of movies and shows where mutants can pop in and out.
I wouldn't be surprised if they introduced the mutants / X-Men starting off as young mutants and going that route towards X-Men.
Yeah.
Instead of just boom, X-Men.
Oh, and She-Hulk had one last week. I apologize. You're right. She-Hulk has also introduced a mutant as well. So That's
They did?
3 so far inside the MCU. So that they're definitely just kind of planting the seeds. They're getting there, which is really cool. But I also wanted to bring up this, which kind of could be a fun conversation. So Deadpool 3 so far is Deadpool and Wolverine. But if you guys had a choice, where did it go? Oh my God, I lost the comment. Oh, here we go. Who would you want to see appear in Deadpool 3 if it's not just Wolverine? Which other characters from the, let's say, the Fox universe, or just the other Marvel movies that we have seen throughout time, the Blades, the old Fantastic Fours, the X-Men's, which other characters would you possibly want to see appear inside this movie?
This is probably going to sound crazy, but bring back Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
Get a mini X-Men Origins.
You know what?
Have a little play on.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Give me Taylor Kitsch's Gambit.
Yeah, there you go.
Give me that Gambit. I would love to see it. I would love to see
why
it.
not?
Yeah.
Shit.
I loved him. I know a very popular one is obviously X-23. D-Train is very big on Champion X-23 right now. Daphne Keane. I would love to see her back. I don't know if they're going that route, though. It's possible. It's definitely possible, but we'll see. Brian, do you have anybody? Shane agrees with you, Gio. Andy says Affleck's Daredevil.
Why not?
I mean, I tend to think James Marsden probably.
Cyclops?
Just because, I mean, he has such history with Wolverine.
I think more than likely the good bets are seeing like the original X-Men cast, right?
And James Marsden has made it known that he wouldn't mind playing Cyclops again at least one more time.
You get him in that suit.
I think it's probably a safe
blue
bet
and yellow.
to think that the Famke Jensens, the James Marsdens, the Halle Berrys could possibly show up as the original X-Men team. Maybe even a Kelsey Graham as a Beast. There you go.
Alan Cunning is Nightcrawler.
Come back. Get a Nightcrawler cameo. That'd be dope.
Please come back.
That'd be
I
dope.
promise you, the makeup, prosthetics, and all that stuff won't take nearly as long as it did on X2 X-Men United.
Iceman?
I mean,
Mystique would be.
Oh, Rogue. A Rogue cameo would be great. With what's her name? Why am I blanking on her name?
Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin. Thank you. A Rogue cameo would be really cool. Because I mean, obviously, her relationship with Logan was very important in those movies.
I think the safest. I personally think they stay completely away from Logan. X-23. I think
I do too.
I think X-23 is almost untouched. Logan characters are untouchable.
I agree.
Speaking of which, did you guys see what James Mangold posted on Twitter?
I feel like Mangold would be pissed.
I feel like he's kind of upset.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too, kind of in a way, because he went to go, he killed Wolverine, and then it's just kind of like, and again, I'm all for seeing the character, but I also understand that, you put your heart and soul into a movie like Logan, and you kill the main character at the end, and then all of a sudden he's kind of brought back into this like multiverse story. So I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, if you're truly playing Fox kills or Daredevil kills the Fox universe, what PJ said, that there's your chance to kill Chris Evans as Human Torch.
That'd be great.
I feel like we are gonna see Chris Evans as Human Torch. He was almost in Deadpool 2. He has expressed interest in playing.
He was almost in
Deadpool
2.
Fun.
That's something new to me.
Yeah, Insider. Come on now.
Wow.
I think honestly, the two franchises, if it is Deadpool kills the Fox universe, they probably stick to Fantastic Fours,
the original trilogy of X-Men,
and maybe anyone in the Deadpool movies. Other than that, I don't think they touch anything else.
You know what?
Maybe Blade, maybe just because of him like killing his old character or something.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of characters available, obviously. So.
Although that would be like Brian, you touched on, what Hugh Jackman's reappearance one more time could mean for the X-Men character Wolverine in the MCU. You're imagine bringing in Wesley Snipes' Blade, but you have Mahershala Ali's Blade already.
See, I don't think he would meet his. I think he would kill his Deadpool, his Blade character, not Blade. I don't think they would be anywhere. Remember how he killed Green Lantern?
Yeah. I'm talking. Oh, you're thinking he would kill that Ryan Reynolds would kill Ryan Reynolds in Blade.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, not Blade.
Geo, movie trivia. Can you name his movie character in Blade Trinity?
Who?
Ryan Reynolds.
Hannibal King, right?
There you go. Hannibal King.
Hannibal King, yeah.
Hannibal King. Good call.
Hello, my name is Fuck You.
That's so great. Honestly, I don't know how that movie is received, but I love Blade Trinity. I think it's such a fun time. Oh my
god! You know what I just thought of would be amazing? It would be the ultimate. Like people would lose their mind. What if, in some capacity, Deadpool and Wolverine try to go back to Wolverine to steal the suit that we never got to see him wear?
Man,
can you imagine if the last time you see Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is finally in that suit that we never got, and we got blue balled for our whole lives of never getting.
I mean, we saw something very practical and close in Days of Future Past, which I think was his best suit personally. But yeah, the black and yellow. I don't think we're ever going to see Hugh Jackman in a headpiece. I don't think we'll ever see him in a headpiece, personally. I think the headpiece is a little too much for film purposes.
Yeah, we saw that with Thor and Thor: Love and Thunder when he had
I think it's just a little too much.
It did not look right at all.
Maybe there's a scene where he has it on and he takes it off and we never see it again. But I don't think we'll actually ever see him like in combat with the helmet on, personally.
I don't know about that,
man. But hey,
come at me, PJ.
You know what this tells me, though? We're gonna see Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, or at least a variant.
No, we won't.
Yeah, if they're bringing back Hugh Jackman after the send off that he got,
what's the bet?
For what?
That we're gonna see him. What's the bet?
Hey, Jake's 0-1 on bets.
Movie tickets. I don't know, something
right now.
like.
So.
No, Brian and I did movie tickets. Let's just do like a drink or two. How about that?
Yeah, because he lost that bet.
Okay, bet.
Okay, all right. We will not see. Oh, are we putting a timeline on it, or are we just saying forever?
Let's say before the end of the multiverse saga.
So, Secret Wars essentially is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, and it has to be new scenes filmed. Cannot be flashbacks or like any of that. It has to be new scenes. Deal?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still kind of confused what the bet is.
If we're going to see Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark again.
Oh, I'm still thinking about the Wolverine suit.
But yeah, look, Deadpool 3.
You better classify if what if counts.
No, bet's already locked.
Oh,
okay. Whatever. That's fine. Whatever.
That means we God damn it. What's the name of that Iron Man that was supposed to appear or like rumored to appear in multiverse? What's it?
Superior.
What's that
Superior Iron Man?
Man, what if it's been played by Jr.?
Wouldn't have been played by RDJ anyway.
Yeah, but what if it is RDJ? Like that would still be dope.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In my opinion.
But you're gonna lose the bet anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so final thoughts here, guys. Deadpool 3 at the moment is a movie co-starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. If you had to put any kind of guess or prediction on what the movie is gonna be about, I want you guys' final locked-in decisions at the moment from what we know of. This will obviously change over the next 2 years, but from what we know. Gio, why don't you start us off? What do you think Deadpool 3 is going to be about?
I think you touched on it earlier. It's going to be kind of like a buddy cop. I think that's what we're all assuming. So I'll go with that answer. And I'm more curious about how how much Hugh Jackman is going to get into shape, or is he going to wear the leather jacket just to kind of, because he is older than when we.
I mean,
last
his
saw
regiment
him,
was crazy. You're right. The regiment to play Wolverine was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe there's some kind of deal there. So we'll see. But I mean, I think it's going to be 60% Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and 40% Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
I love
that's
it.
That's how committed Ryan Reynolds is to getting Hugh Jackman back and giving us that movie that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman wanted to make as well. Like I remember an interview like almost 10 years ago, 8 years ago, where he was like, God, if you were to ask me 5 years ago, yes, I would have absolutely played Wolverine in the MCU. I think this was right around the time when rumors about the Fox buyout was happening. And so, man, never say never.
Brian, what are you thinking this movie's gonna be?
I honestly have no idea because I mean the Deadpool kills the universe makes sense. The only thing is I just don't see like Wolverine just like killing Storm or like going around just like killing his X-Men.
What if it's a variant of Wolverine? We haven't touched on that.
Yeah, it's not even the same Wolverine. Like,
what if it's not even the same Wolverine?
I would laugh.
It's a weird thing to think about, but what if it actually is?
I would laugh so hard if it ended up being like most of the movie is just Deadpool trying to find Wolverine, and then Wolverine's only really in it for like 20 minutes.
That's definitely not going to happen, but yes, I see where you're going.
Like it's literally like the whole movie is literally just him trying to find Wolverine to be in his Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Like I can absolutely see that happen. Being like literally the whole plot of the movie is Deadpool is fully aware of himself being in this is his third movie joining the MCU, and his mission is to try to get Wolverine to join him in like the MCU and trying to find him. And then it just literally be that like the whole entire movie, and just like he's not even in it more than like 25%. Like, can you not see that being like the whole entire thing? Like a movie where he's literally just, he knows this is Deadpool 3 trying to find Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine in his movie.
I'm ready for all the scoops and rumors about, because we saw it with No Way Home and Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. They're only going to be in the movie for like 20 minutes, or they're going to be in the movie for like 1 or 2 scenes and whatnot. They ended up being in the movie a lot more than any of us imagined, which was a good thing. So like, be prepared for all the articles about like, oh, he's going to be in the movie this much or that much. I'm just whatever. We're getting Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
It's going to be another lead up to what like Multiverse of Madness was, with all the predictions and rumors and theories about who could show up and when and where and why and how. I almost feel like this is going to be another very multiverse heavy movie. Obviously because Deadpool is technically at this point in time not in our MCU. So it's going to be interesting. We have 2 years. 2 years, 2 weeks ago we have a long time prepping for this movie, but at the moment, I mean, it's off to an incredible start. Sean Levy directing with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman starring. So,
fucking Kevin Feige making it happen, man. Jesus Christ.
He's really like, this man is really like, we will never probably see a producer like this.
Well,
he's so self-aware of what people want, and like, just he knows what is gonna succeed, and it's just built around that.
Yeah,
like it's just the fact that he's so self-aware, and just it's incredible. It really is. Like
it's why this universe has lasted as long as it has. Like
there will never be anything like it.
No,
probably ever in film ever again.
There's a reason why it can't be recreated by a million different companies. So
it's wild.
It's definitely an anomaly. So, all right, everybody. Well, that's gonna do it tonight. Deadpool 3, officially coming our way on the slate for Phase 6. If you missed it, if you caught the show a little late, we spent a lot of time on Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which was a great conversation about Namor, who could possibly be the next Black Panther, and then obviously just the movie in general and its direction. And if you missed the beginning of the show, Brian reviewed E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and then Gio got challenged to watch Hannah, the Saoirse Ronan Eric Bana film, which was early on in her career, but definitely a movie that should be watched. So let's go ahead and do some quick plugs before we head out of here. And then we'll preview what we have going for the rest of the week. Gio, why don't you start us off, man? Where can everyone find you online?
Well, Jake said it earlier. That's right. I changed my Twitter handle to @InsiderGeo. Look, I'm not a scooper, okay, or anything like that. Although
I gotta change it in the description. Actually, hold on.
It seems nowadays everybody has sources and all this other crap. So why not join in and have some fun with it and engage with you guys a little bit more? I can't wait to talk about next month for obvious reasons. And Fandom United, my other channel. Check me out there.
Follow Insider Geo at twitter.com/InsiderGeo. Here it is. Brian, what about you?
Biavalcino on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know where the hell I'm going to be this week with schedule.
You're a busy man this week, Brian. Busy man.
Possibly Andor tomorrow, depending on what time Jake wants to do it. Possibly Marvel Rewind on Thursday, depending on what time Jake wants to do it.
It's not just all on me.
So it's all on Jake
this week. You're the one doing conferences this week. John Pierce, thank you for asking. I'm actually doing one tomorrow, sir. I finally got some time to do one by myself this week. And I'm going to be back on the Whiskey Jedi tomorrow. You guys can find me there on my personal channel, just @JakeBerlin. You can type in the Whiskey Jedi, find the show there. I review whiskey and talk Star Wars. So I'll be back tomorrow. Not an exact time just yet, but it'll be a little bit later in the evening time. And I'm excited to get that back up and rolling after some big life events. I'm on a certain point of view as well on a weekly basis, talking Schmodown for just a little while longer. It is coming to a close this weekend with Schmodown Spectacular. And then we'll have a couple other shows before we transition into some other things. So, and then, Brian mentioned we have the Mandalorian Club for Andor, which we review Star Wars on a weekly basis. We have Marvel Rewind for She-Hulk, which we review on a weekly basis. And then on Saturdays, you can join Keith and Jacob as they review The Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show on Prime Video. They are live on Saturday mornings. And Gordon, to answer your question, yes, we're going to cover last week's She-Hulk. Some schedules got a little crazy, and I'll take the blame for that one. But we'll be covering it and covering probably both episodes together is my guess. So hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you so much for joining us, hanging out, commenting along. We love the interaction with all of you guys. We really, really appreciate it. Stay safe, be healthy, and for all of us here at Apocaflix Movies, we will catch you guys next time.